the game, cause see the boxing voice.
Welcome back, gang, for the first time and hopefully many more to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the notifications right here, this little bell, so you can get those emails every time we go live. Peace.
ThaBoxingvoice.com live with Hugo Centeno Jr. First and foremost, were you mad Charlemagne botched your name?
A little bit, man, a little bit. But, you know, it comes with the territory. You know, it's a lot of people don't know how to pronounce it. It's Hugo Centeno.
So do you think after a Jermall Charlo win, the world would know how to pronounce Centennial?
The world, I mean, might have a little hard time, but at least they'll know who I am, you know?
Now, obviously, you're coming off a big win with Emmanuel Lean. It was an upset.
Right.
People were not expecting that. How do you feel being able to be on the opposite end of the world thinking you can't do it and you prove them wrong?
Right. It's the same thing. I feel like it's with every fight. A lot of people, they count me out, man. And I'm not here to prove them wrong. I'm here to prove myself right. You know, I've been doing this for close to 20 years next month. It'll be 20 years that I've been boxing and just always chasing that dream of becoming a world champion. I'm just that much closer, and this fight, beating a Jermall Charlo, would lead to a fight with a Canelo or a Triple G, and I'm just making my dreams come true.
Now, what do you have to say to those people that say, well, how's he going to fight Jermall when Jermall beat J-Rock? J-Rock had a draw with Centennial. Some people thought he beat him. Fighter A, fighter B, all that mathematics that fight fans like to do.
Right. Hey, just remember, in boxing, styles make fights. And, you know, just because I had a no contest with Julian Williams, who was beating me early on in the fight, there was still 7 more rounds to go in that, or 6 more rounds to go in that fight. You know, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I was down with J-Rock early out in the rounds, but I mean, with Charlo, it's a different fight. I progressed. It's been a long time since then, and I'm here to show the fans that I'm a great fighter.
Now, do you think with a win over Jermall, it erases the J-Rock controversy because Jermall has such a big win over J-Rock?
Nah, it won't erase it. It's just how it goes. You know, people always say, "Oh, Hugo had a cut, he quit, or whatever." I mean, I've told the story a bunch of times, and whatever. If J-Rock decides to move up to 160, I'll fight him too. You know, and you know, he's come up to me and he's, you know, say, "Hey man, nothing personal," because I also fought on the same card when J-Rock and Charlo fight. He told me, "Hey man, it's nothing personal. I don't hate you. If the fight happens, it happens. The fans make it worse than what it is. That's it." I know I didn't quit. I've been doing this my whole life, but I know better than to argue with the ref's call once it's been made. You know, it's not like it can go back. So the ref stopped the fight, and that's what it was. And people say that I quit because I was losing or whatever. Like I said, if J-Rock moves to 160, we'll make that fight happen. But right now, I'm focused on Charlo, and I'm coming to win.
Speaking of coming to win in the face-off, I feel like shoulders, you're taller than him.
Just a bit.
And you might be a little thicker than him. This is the first time you've seen him face-to-face. For this fight. How did it feel? And what was your overall assessment first time seeing him? Did you think you were the bigger man?
I feel like I'm the natural bigger guy. I've been here for about 3 years now at 160, and he's just moving up. So for, you know, Showtime to ask me that Jermall Charlo is one of the hardest hitting middleweights out there, he just got to the middleweight division, you know what I mean? So we're not sure if he's the hardest hitting middleweight yet. I know he's a strong fighter, and he's a great fighter, and he wouldn't be where he's at if he wasn't. But, you know, my punches don't tickle either.
That they don't. We've seen what you did to Emmanuel Lean. How do you not get caught up? Because that was like such a huge punch. How do you, Hugo Centeno now says, "I'm not a puncher," or "I am a puncher. I can knock everybody out. I'm going to knock out Jermall because I showed it in the Aleem fight."
No, like I said, styles make fights. I saw the opening with Aleem, and I took it. You know, I timed it well. It took me a couple rounds, but earlier on in that fight, you know, you can see I timed that punch, and it came out perfectly.
Now, some fighters say they don't watch tape, they don't watch fights. I'm hoping you at least watched, you know, Jermall's fight, and you kind of assess them and see what it is you can capitalize on.
Definitely, you know, I feel like doing that, and you know, I have my team watch tape, and every now and then, you know, watch a couple fights just to get my own assessment. But that's how we develop a game plan. I feel like it should be in a fighter's best interest to watch tape on a fighter, and if it's gonna help me, I'll take any advantage I can get.
What did you think of his fight with Julian J. Rock Williams? Because yes, he won it. Yes, he had 2 knockdowns. But before that first jab knockdown, it seemed like J. Rock was getting the better of the round. And then even when he got the uppercut, it seemed like J. Rock was getting the better of the round, and if not, came back in the end of the round. So just how do you assess Jermall in the ring with a common opponent, which is
he's a great fighter, you know, and I honestly feel like he just hasn't had, I wouldn't say top notch, because I feel like Julian Williams is probably his best test yet. And someone that measures up to him, and I feel like I measure up. And come March 3rd, I'm going to show that.
Now my last question, obviously the world had opinions on your decision to leave Golden Boy and sign with Al Heyman.
Right. Now
that you have this big fight, this is a marquee fight, you're kind of in the situation Jermall was in. If you recall, Jermall was in with Erickson Lubin. Showtime was pushing Lubin. Lubin was the face of Showtime, and then Jermall took him out. You're kind of in a similar situation. So how do you feel about being the underdog?
You know, honestly, I don't feel like I'm in the same situation as Lubin, because Lubin's very young and he was very, very hungry. And I understand being young and hungry, but I feel like, you know, I've had those tough opponents. I've beat controversy. I've came back from all that, and I feel like I'm more seasoned than Lubin is. You know, I'm about to turn 27 next month, and I've been in there with some big guys, you know, and I've shown that I can hold my own. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just here to do my job, man. And that's win come March 3rd.
I kind of botched that last question. The whole thing was when you were with Golden Boy being Mexican-American and everything, it was kind of like, okay, Hugo could be a franchise.
Right, right.
You know, if promoted properly, we can get a Mexican-American fan base behind him. He can do some good ratings, but then you sign with Al.
Right.
Is this fight what makes everything okay?
Well, you know, the thing, honestly, with Golden Boy, the whole thing with Golden Boy, I was never officially signed to Golden Boy. I was with Joel De La Hoya, who was my manager, and I did all my fights through Golden Boy. But, you know, honestly, I had better opportunities with Al. And it's not just better opportunities for me, it's for my family as well. And a lot of people don't see that because they just see what goes on in the limelight. And people are like, oh, man, you betrayed Golden Boy and this and that. And I'm like, no, man, I just did what was best for me and my family.
All right, well, Hugo, man, we can't wait to see what happens on this fight. Can't wait for the rest of 2018. Wish you the best. Hope you continue with a spectacular performance like you did with Emmanuel Lean, because it was great. And we'll see you on Fight Night.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Welcome back, gang, for the first time and hopefully many more to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the notifications right here, this little bell, so you can get those emails every time we go live. Peace.
The game, 'cause see the boxing voice.